Good afternoon, traders. This is day number 6 of my small cap market open test trading with real money. We're just trading one single share until we've taken 100 trades and proven this plan to be profitable. So this morning I took one trade at the open, and usually when I just take one trade, that means that the stock or the trade went to 2R, hit my 2R profit target, and I'm done for the day. There is one other scenario though that can happen, so I'm going to show you that in just a moment here. Let me show you the screener first. So here is the screener that I use to pick these stocks. So I use my small cap screener. Always click those 3 dots and click modify, otherwise your filters do not get applied. And these are the filter criteria, and then I organize the list by volume. I'm only looking at the stocks that are green, but they also must have a certain criteria met on the daily chart. So for example, GOEV did not meet that chart criteria. You'll probably see that in the video. SLI did, that was on my chart. There's a few others, so let's take a look at the video right now and you can see what I was watching here. So let's go right to the beginning. So SLI was the first one that met the screener criteria. It also met the daily chart criteria. Just back it up to where I show the daily chart on SLI. So there's the 200 MA and there's the price trading above it. So now I mark out the previous session high. That could be from the pre-market, aftermarket, or day before. And that's the first sign. The break of that level is the first sign that there is strength in the stock. And once I see that level broken, then I can look for the next signal. And I'll get to that in just a moment. HLBZ, that was another one. So let's see. Let's just fast forward. There was quite a few this morning. But there was one in particular that gave me the signal first. And BLU was just about to give me a trade, and then it breaks down below what I defined as the ABCD pattern. So I decided that it's weak if it gets down below this level, and I didn't want to take a trade on it unless it broke back above the second high of day. And you can see what happened there. It flushed down through that level pretty hard. So it was looking pretty weak. It did end up breaking back above that level, but I was already in a trade at that point, so it doesn't really matter what happens then. MMAT, that was another one. So these purple lines, I got to come up with a good color scheme because I've got a lot of levels that I'm marking out now, but what this purple line means today at least is that the first entry signal failed, and that if I'm going to take a trade on these stocks, the price needs to break over this purple line in order for me to look for an entry. So here is PAVM. This is the one that I ended up trading. It looked extremely strong here at the open. You could see it looks very good on the daily chart. And it gave a very nice run, very strong run at the open. The previous high is right about here, so it broke out through the previous high. So I'm marking that level out right now. Fast forward a little bit. So there's that level. And then this is the first high of day. So once that high of day is established, I want to see that high of day broken. And then on the break of that high of day, I can get in on the first pullback. So let's take a look here. So there is the first high of day. There's the second high of day. So that high of day was broken, that first high. And now I'm just waiting for a pullback to finish, which will be finished as soon as a 1-minute candle makes a new high. Oh, there it goes right there. So let's look at the trade. Again, this setup looked extremely strong to me, and this just goes to show you why, you can't believe the setup too much. You don't put too much faith in the setup. And what I mean by that is, even if the setup looks beautiful, don't go all in. Don't increase your position size. You should be trading with the same position size on every setup, because even the very best setups fail, and they do so quite often, in fact. So let's take a look at what happened on this setup. So I'm looking at the high of this candle. That's what I'm hovering over at 941. So I want to see 942 or better to get in. Now it did give us 942. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not on this candle. I think it's on the next one. So the high of this candle looks like 943, and that one popped up above the high. So 944, that was where I wanted to get in. So as soon as I saw 944, I hit my hotkeys to get in. I got filled at 948, which is a little bit of slippage there. 4 cents, but on a stock of this price, it's not that much. And then a stock of this strength, this apparent strength, that should not make a difference. You've seen all of my other winning trades go to 3R so far in this plan, and I'm just using a 2R profit target. So that slippage shouldn't really be an issue. But let's take a look at what happened. So again, I used my 2R calculator to calculate my profit target. My target is 972. The other thing that I must do in this scenario is I was getting some alerts because you can see BLU did finally break out over that level. Maybe it gave a 2R trade, maybe it didn't. Doesn't really matter to me. PAVM is the stock that I chose to trade. It's the one that looked the strongest. So that was me giving myself the best edge that I could. And whether it works out or not, that's really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because this entry is very good and very strong setup. And it's just unfortunate what happened with this trade. So let's take a look now so look at what happened after I got in this thing. It looked extremely strong, still going up on the next candle, at least as of right now. And the one important thing that I must do is I must mark out my ideal entry, which was 944. And then I consider my stop loss, and then I calculate my profit target based on that ideal entry. And that way, if my 2R profit target from the ideal entry gets hit and I get stopped out, then I stop trading. And that almost happened, but not quite, because 960 was the profit target for the ideal entry. It didn't quite get there. It only got to 958. And then let's see what else happened here. Let me just fast forward a little bit. So just like that, this thing is reversing, lost all of that energy to the upside, and now it stopped me out. So that's fine. You can see here that I've already marked out ahead of time where I think this stock becomes weak. And that's, based on a couple of things, but there's a nice little like triple bottom here. If it breaks, I mean, that's generally a very strong sign of support at that level. If it breaks that level, it's definitely weak. Not to say, again, that it didn't just, peekaboo down below that level, turn around and give a 2-3R trade. I don't know, but you have to draw lines somewhere. The important thing is that you're disciplined and that you do the same thing on every trade. Otherwise, your data is absolutely meaningless. We're trying to track data on every single one of these trades to see if the system actually works or not. And we won't know if it works unless we actually trade the system the same way every day. So let's see what happens here. The price ends up, so what I'm ready to do at this point is as soon as a 1 minute candle makes a new high, I was ready to get back in unless this level marked out by this red line gets broken. It hasn't broken it yet. It just tapped it. It has to come down through it, even just by 1 cent. If it comes down by 1 cent, that's enough. That's a failure. But let's say this candle here broke over the high of this one. I would have had to get in based on my plan. And I mean, this is an extremely bullish candle right here. If you're reading candlesticks and you're trying to decide what's likely to happen next, you would probably decide based on this huge long bottoming tail that the price is going to go up on the next candle. But again, that's not really what I'm doing here. I'm looking for levels to be broken. So let's take a look at what happens next. So then you can see it comes right back down to that supposed strong support level based on that what am I trying to say here? The triple bottom. And this candle breaks it. So as soon as that happens, that's it. I give up on the stock. I stop recording because that's the end of the trade and end of the trading day for me, because what that means is that unfortunately I picked the wrong stock. And I don't mean that like I made a mistake in choosing it. It just means that all of the signals that I use to indicate strength in a stock just did not work on this one stock. And of course, that's going to happen even if you have the absolute best plan that has the highest probability of giving you a winning trade. It's not going to work 100% of the time. And that's what we saw here today. I'm not saying that this plan is the best or has the highest probability, but so far it has the probability of giving me more winning trades than losers, and definitely enough winning trades to be profitable. So when a scenario like this happens, my plan tells me to just stop trading for the rest of the day. And now, so all I have to do is take a -1R loss. It's not that big of a deal. If I continued to trade, if I got frustrated and I revenge traded, what would likely happen is I would add to this red day and probably end up with 3 losing trades, ending the day minus 3R, which is a lot harder to recover from than a minus 1R day. So that's where we're going to end the day. And let me know if you have any questions on this trade, on the plan, or anything like that. All of my plans, except for this one, I'm going to wait until I get to at least 33 trades. And this thing still needs to be profitable at that point, and then I'll upload it to my Patreon. That's patreon.com/tradingarmor. But all my other plans, my spreadsheets, and my trading calculators, they're all available there if you are interested. Other than that, just hit the like button for me if you found this helpful. That helps me a lot, encourages me to keep making these videos, and subscribe if you haven't done so. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.